Alright, I know this one's a little later than usual. I'm still working on the schedule on when I want specific stories to come out. But I finished it, so here we go. One more thing I need to say, I slipped up on Bunny's line. It's supposed to be next month, not next week. With that covered, let's get started. Izzy already told Melissa about Ochako. It was clear he had no idea about the incident with the call, and he was not acting. Melissa didn't get mad at him since he was upfront, and technically they're not dating. So, there's that. It's been about a week since the end of part 3, and Izzy wakes up to find out that he's the only one in the house. I know I gave you guys a description of the building, but I didn't tell you where it was now, did I? Remember Izzy's old hood? He turned it into a premier business location. A district that makes more money than Shinjuku. Yes, he did exactly what Nox wanted to do. However, unlike them, he made sure that everyone that lived there had a place within this new community he was creating. Izzy owned every single building in the area and bought off the surrounding area that was leveled in the battle against All for One. Say what you will about his old man, but did shit him as solid there. The people of his hood were given minor shares in Deku Tech and housed as long as they worked for one of its many subsidiaries. He even offered scholarships and internships. Needless to say, he looked out for his hood, and they loved him for that. Everyone was glad he was out of the high-rise and made it a point to give him respect when he walked past. The area surrounding Deku Tech was big, and big enough to be considered a city, and it was done. He did that. He was proud of that. That's another reason why he wasn't scared of using Rocket the other day. That ain't... Come on. Who's gonna catch him flying that high in the air short of the military, which he made a point in avoiding military airspace? With Melissa gone, that meant he had some time to check in with the local branch of the Watchdogs, which was in a hip-hop club literally called The Spot. It's time for Deku to get up in that spot. Sorry, couldn't resist. When he arrived at the spot, he got asked for ID. Izzy just flashed his ink on his hand, and that got him in no questions asked. Being a capo in the Watchdogs got you places, especially in your own base of operations. Izzy opened his watch and sat down as the group was rehearsing for a show tonight. A woman in a business suit sat down next to him. Mitsuki, what are you doing here? You're not into hip-hop. Mitsuki gave her brother a smile. You own the place, and this is one of the best clubs in all of Tokyo. I assume you're here to talk to your little gang. Izzy nods his head and waits for the woman on the turntable to finish her set. She comes down and takes a seat at Izzy's table. You must be a new capo I've heard about. Izzy, right? It takes a lot of pull to own a town. Bigger corps than you have tried and failed, but I guess it helps when you have the support of the people, huh, boss? Name's Miki, and I've been doing some digging on the thing you asked about. At this point, all I can do for you is confirm your suspicions. Nox was so beyond involved in this. Mitsuki asks how Miki was so sure, and it came down to the absence of evidence. It was a clean sweep, and that was corporate procedure. She also confirmed that there was indeed a fire user that used to be under Nox's employ, but he appears to have gone under the radar. Miki passes Izzy a picture of a man who is her horrendously burned in specific locations and had jet black hair. We know who it is, but they don't at this point. He hasn't really gotten in the spotlight at the moment, so they don't have a name. Find him. I need this fool alive and well. I have a feeling that Nox is looking for him to put him down. Offer him protection in exchange for evidence of Nox's involvement. Izzy dropped payment of 25 grand. I'm using US currency. I'm not going to bother converting it. So if I ever give you a monetary value, that's in US dollars. Not yet. And one thing, he did not need to lay that down to cash down at all. Miki whistled at the tall order given to her, but she would handle it. You know, you really know how to treat a lady, don't you? My sis was right about you. You're dead serious about destroying Nox. I don't need this, capo. She handed Izzy the money back, knowing full well it was a test. She passed with flying colors. Izzy enjoyed the ambiance of the spot with Mitsuki before he went for lunch. Fade to Melissa driving to the Uraraka farm. It's time for that conversation. Melissa was dressed for a farm and was driving a Jeep. Bunny noticed her as she pulled into the property. Oh, Jacko, I think you gonna have some company. Go on, clean up. We done for a day. Ochako does just that. She knows it's not Izzy. He would have just flown. Unless, of course, he was bringing Melissa with him. She needed to prepare herself to talk to Melissa into the idea. She was a city girl, so maybe she'd be okay with it. But Choco had to lay it on her just right so it marinated it in Melissa's mind properly. So, you're the Dr. Uraraka. Izzy speaks the world of you. If not for you, he wouldn't be the man Bunny raises a brow. Go ahead, girl. Finish that sentence. Bunny egged on. Melissa was beet red. It was quite obvious what she stopped herself from saying while in enemy territory. Bunny was just giving one of those knowing motherly smiles. You know the one. Do I really have to say it out loud? That's about the time Ochako arrived in a fresh set of clothes. She overheard her mama teasing Melissa, but she just had to say her piece. If you can't say it, then I guess you don't love him as much as you think you do. I know Izzy won't shut up about you. He's real proud of you and cares for you a great deal. Ochako wanted to be nice, but she'd had enough of this schoolyard romance crap. As per usual, I live with my family. I apologize if you hear their conversations in the background. She has to wake her up before she can talk to her. Melissa got a good eyeful of Ochako. Melissa wasn't bad on the eyes, but neither was Ochako. And even her mother was a looker. What have they been eating? How are they both so beautiful? No wonder Izzy's bringing this girl into our home. She knew he had the best of intentions, but one look at her and the way she carried herself in front of Melissa, well, it became clear that Izzy had slept with Ochako multiple times. You must be Ochako, the humble farm girl Izzy is taking under his wing and welcoming into our home. She stopped herself from saying hussy, but it was obvious that she did so. The Uraraka women didn't show any signs of hostility, though. Look, Melissa, I'm gonna ask you one question. Have you been blunt with Izzy about how you feel about him? 'Cause it looks to me like you think you got him on lock. You need to let him know how you feel. I know he's wanted to take it slow, but it's been months. There's a difference between slow and a snail's pace. Guess which one you're at. I don't know if it's him or you, but god damn. Melissa is wondering what's so special about this Ochako girl that Izzy would just sleep with her after just a month of knowing her. They've known one another for years, and he's been a free man for a while now. It was quite obvious what was going on through her head. Don't think too hard about it, Shug. Your little advantage over my daughter served as a disadvantage in this case. Izzy got to know Chaco and came to like her enough to let it happen. Your problem is that you're letting yourself be content. Yes, respect his wishes, but let him know that you're ready for something more. Bunny had given Melissa a heavy lecture. Why she was helping the woman that stood between her daughter and the man she was clearly infatuated with, she had no clue. I don't get why you're being so nice to me. Should one look at that boy and the way he looks at your picture or my daughter over there when he's here shows me that he loves the both of you. Things aren't black and white, little girl. The relationship you three have is complicated. Spend some time with Ochako and you'll see what he sees. Melissa answers that she's not really into girls, and Bunny shoots back with a just try to see what Izzy sees. She speaks her mind on what might happen if either one of them had a childish outburst and fought over Izzy. She didn't even need to finish that statement. Melissa knew Izzy well enough. He'd leave them both. Melissa realized she'd never really defined what she had with Izzy, and that was what allowed Izzy to fall for her and asleep with Ochako. She could throw her hat in the ring officially, but if they butted heads, it would possibly end poorly for everyone. Fine, let's be friends. If this goes well, maybe we can both be happy. Ochako smiled the biggest smile. I'm not saying jeez. Let's just get to know each other. They head to town and enjoy themselves with what little it had to offer. This is like a rural town we're talking about. They just let themselves be two girls that were having fun, however. Melissa never really had friends other than Izzy, but she could see herself enjoying the company of a nice girl like Ochako. Just possibly not in the same way Izzy did. With that, the two became not quite friends, but acquaintances. That was the start. Turns out they had more in common than their aspired paramour. Meanwhile, a certain doctor is on the phone with the said boy. Ooh, you're gonna be in for some interesting times, boy. Ochako done went and told her how she felt about you. And what y'all done did, or more accurately, Melissa figured it out. Either way, Melissa's gonna be here for a while, so she can come to understand what you see in Ochako. That revelation made Izzy's eyes go wide. Now, I'm going to make a little joke that has nothing to do with Izzy because he doesn't feel that way about either one of them, but I've been dying to write this and say this for this specific instance, so here we go. The missus and the mistress meeting each other, working together. Ooh, man's worst nightmare. But seriously, let's get back to the story, because, like I said, Izzy doesn't think about them like that. Seriously, though, if they could get along well enough with each other, then that would be a plus. This kind of relationship would have its ups and downs. but he was sure they could handle it if Ochako got Melissa to over that hurdle. Ochako had already talked to Izzy about Melissa and how he felt about her, and he figured it was only a matter of time before she tried something like this. She was a big fan of happy endings, and this seemed the method that both girls would benefit. Izzy hung up and went out for a night to himself, or at least that was the intention. Toshinori called him, and they went bowling for a bit and ended up at High Society for drinks. You're telling me. Actually, no, sorry. You're telling me you're with another girl? How has Melissa not killed you or this girl yet? By the way, All Might's in Small Might form right now. Izzy gave Toshinori the obvious answer that while he and Melissa were indeed living together, they hadn't taken the plunge of being an official couple. Can't really cheat on someone you're not dating. In that time he spent with Melissa, both in jail and as free man, he's asked her what they were, and she would always give him some cop-out answer. Well, yes, he was taking it slow with Melissa. She was the one that was afraid to push forward, not him. Ochako just happened. They just clicked after a month of getting to know each other. All it took was a little push. And apparently, the same woman who gave said push gave Melissa a push as well. If this works the way you and Ochako want, you are going to have an interesting life. I don't think I could handle women like those two, but it's your life. Toshinori let out a sigh and noticed what was on Izzy's left arm. His name. Izzy, I'm honored. I consider you family as well. Just to be clear, Melissa doesn't even have her name on that yet. Yeah, I know, Toshi. Just don't make me have to give your name wings. Izzy stated matter-of-factly. That's when some idiot came in with what looked to be a crude bomb strapped to him. Give me all the money you got! The barkeep was terrified. FYI, All Might and Izzy are in a private room drinking, but they can hear the commotion. Izzy goes out there since, once again, All Might's in Small Might form. He doesn't have that much time left, and he's recuperating. So, there's that. Easy, friend. There's no need to get crazy here. That's when this guy noticed who Izzy was. Stay back, Hydroid, or I blow us all to Kingdom Come! Dude wasn't bluffing. Izzy wasn't that scared for himself, but he had resistance to explosions and healing waters, not to mention he could just turn into vapor. But everyone else would suffer. His employees that worked and lived here would not survive that blast. There had to be a way to deal with this guy. There just had to. Izzy, now would be a good time to tell you that Detonate has an alternate power. Diffuse. Do I even need to explain that one? Rian sarcastically asks. Izzy smiled and used Diffuse. While the bomb was gone, this guy could have other weapons of some sort on him, or he could have a dangerous, well, more accurately, dangerous to the barkeep, Quirk. So he noticed dude was sweating, and the AC was on. So Izzy just controlled the moisture in the air and froze dude. To be more specific, everything but his head. This is about the time when All Might steps out in buff mode and gives a whistle. Well done, brother. You've still got it. You handled him quite well. That made Izzy smile a bit. All Might grabbed the punk sickle, but before he could leave, Izzy dropped his idea on him. Ah, that does sound like a plan. I'll put in the word. You'll have to work as my sidekick for a bit, but you'll do well. This is a decent application. With that, All Might jumps away. Izzy may have used his quirk on a criminal, but that was one, self-defense, and two, in private property that three, he owned. So even if a cop hungry for a big bust or one on Knox's payroll wanted to, they couldn't really touch him. He knew the name Hydroid wouldn't work anymore, so he'd have to come up with a new hero name. That's when the idea hit him. Omni. Rand chimed in. Wouldn't it be more like Quator? Since, for those of you who do not speak Latin, hell, I don't speak Latin myself, I had to look this up. Quator means four. Quator, quattro. Spanish is pretty close to Latin, but there we go. Izzy chimes in with, he just thinks Omni sounds more intimidating, and if you ask me, he's right on that one. And Rian agrees as well. With that, Izzy got back to sitting down, this time not in a private room, but on the bar stool next to the barkeep. Manhattan, please. The barkeep was slightly shook, but she snapped out of it and made the drink. Actually, that sounds pretty good right now. I think I'll go make myself one of those. Izzy's not the only one that enjoys a good drink every now and again.